Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the AlexCloud2275 stream. Hope you're all doing well this fine day. I'm doing good. Just had a break. Little, just like away time. Away from Leviathan and his meanness, and I'm ready to go back into it. And have at thee, preferably. So, we're just going to jump in, go for a retry, and see what we can do.
You're just full of surprises, aren't you? Garuda will be proud. Valius! How long did he keep this up? You've had your fun, Leviathan. It's time you went back to sleep!
Leviathan tamed! My god, that was a fight, and I'm so happy I'm finally through it. You cannot believe how happy I am. Another water shard. The power of the Echo Leviathan made manifest. This shard crystal is wet to the touch and can be heard to emit a soft hum when held to the ear.
Now that was quite a tantrum.
Clive! Where is he? Well, yes. He's adorable.
He is now. But did you see him a few moments ago?
Clive, I don't know how to thank you.
It's all right. We should find him a dry blanket, though. Wouldn't want the little monster catching a cold.
There. He's finally asleep.
The poor thing had a long day.
That makes two of us. So, what happens now?
Now? Now, we make things right.
How?
By providing Walias what he was denied. A place to learn and grow. A family to love and protect him. So that one day, when the wounds in his heart and mind have finally healed, he might decide for himself how he'd like to live the rest of his life. But until then, I'll stay by his side, come what may.
Then he's a lucky boy. And not only because he'll have the best warrior this side of the belt to teach him the battle axe.
She'll do her best.
Shula, the beast that threatened your home is tamed. The empire that threatened your people toppled. Might it not be time to cast off your ancestors' glamour and retake your place in the Twins?
Perhaps. It's not as if we have the crystals to maintain the wall much longer. But are we truly safe? Is the world truly ready to accept us for who we are and what we believe? If I remember rightly, you and yours still choose to remain hidden, do you not?
We do.
Well, your people will always be welcome in Haven, regardless.
As will yours in the hideaway. We're allies now. If there's anything you need from us, supplies, food, equipment, do not hesitate to ask.
It's kind of you to offer. But we'll manage, just as we always have. Besides, I suspect you'll be needing everything at your disposal if you're going to save the world.
I fear much of it is past saving. The best we can do is strive to turn what's left into a world where we can all live as equals.
A noble endeavor. And there'll be a place in this world for us, will there? For Walias.
For everyone. I swear it.
Then we shall be waiting. Until the tides bear you back to shore.
The Rising Tide quest complete. The emblem of the Haven, a village hidden in the moats of water. Their symbol is a marriage of Echion Leviathan and the ceaseless rill, the endless circle of life that they all must walk.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Well, yes. Only time will tell. But I can certainly think of worse places to spend one's childhood. The Moats of Water are a fine people, and they will take good care of him.
Up by the Vare, Ultima spoke to me. She called Leviathan his most profaned fragment, and told me to redeem the sins that had laid him low.
Is that so? The sins of Walias's ancestors were grave indeed. To force him to prime at so tender an age.
And to freeze him in time, that he might never know what it was to live.
Yet I doubt either of those crimes was the source of Ultima's displeasure. It was that the Icon's power had been put to another purpose than the one he intended. To him, Leviathan must have seemed an aberration.
Could that be why Ultima made no attempt to lead me to him? The fear that this profaned fragment might corrupt his vessel somehow.
Perhaps. Or perhaps he simply deemed Leviathan surplus to requirements, having concluded that his vessel might be made to serve his purposes without the full sum of his power.
His purposes. There's no escaping them. Even here. Hidden away in Mysidia, the blessing of the crystals proved nothing but a prison. A prison into which Wallius was born, and from which freedom is hard won. If the world doesn't change, if we don't change it, he'll end up suffering the same fate as every dominant who came before him.
Then we must change it.
That we must.
And we shall.
Woohoo! Completed. Alright, now we have side quests and things, but let's go to our man first. Oh, what do you have to say?
When the tributary came back from the Ver without you, we all feared the worst. But she and your friends told us not to panic and led us to higher ground, where we waited out the storm while you saved the day. Which makes the lot of you heroes, if you ask me.
It is good to have him back. But how do we know the lad won't summon another flood?
We don't. So we'd better not give him cause to, had we?
Alright, let's go. Pravat,
Reckon my
what you got for
steel's
me?
just as good as any.
Right, can we reinforce anything? Ah, we can reinforce you. Alright, let's go to craft though. What are we missing for the Tombury knife? A notch tag, a Aquarius membrane, and another fool's gold. Okay. Illudium. And then Illudium bets with a notch tag. I best get multiple notch tags, otherwise... Alright. So none of this requires any of those scale things that I've just seen. Timeless Graceband. Oh, that requires a scale. So, scale, Timeless Graceband. Scale, Timeless Graceband. Alright. Well.
Will that do you?
Up is up.
Done. Better than you. Will that do you?
My friend, I have news.
Alright, let's go.
I think I might have found a way to break Talor's curse.
Go on.
Well, after listening to the village elders and scouring every likely-looking tome in the library, I learned that not all Tomburys are the same little green menaces we know and loathe. Apparently, a chosen few live to incredible ages and grow to many times the size of their counterparts. The folktales hold that it's the very eldest of these, the Tombury kings, who weave the curses, and that their magics bind their victims to them, that they might continue to feed on their pain.
So if we slay the one that cast the curse, the feeding will cease.
But that was my thinking, yes. Though I doubt it'll be easy. These kings are not just bigger, they're stronger too. And if the tales are true, their followers will defend them to the death. It is a perilous proposition, in short, but it may also be Talor's only hope. What say you?
Seek out and slay the Tombury King. I will.
We'll do it. Even if killing this king doesn't break the curse, Mysidia will be a safer place for its removal.
Thank you.
So then, where will I find it?
That, alas, I do not know. It must have woven the curse at the altar in Father's Fell, but as to where it is now...
Fanet, you were the one asking about Tonburys, right? Because there's a whole bloody army of them out on the cloak.
What? But why would they stray so far? And why now?
There's only one way to find out. I'll head up the mountain and see what's going on.
Right. Thank you. And please, be careful.
Alright. Reign of Pain. Alright, let's take that one.
We can talk about the king later. It's more important that we find out why the Tomberries are massing on the cloak.
Nope, it's perfectly fair.
I will have to charge you. May it serve you well. Well, if you're sure you need it. May it serve you well. Here you are. I'll be here.
Right, let's pick up all these side quests. Head back to the hideaway, change my sword's
mister,
design.
over here! Please, mister, you've got to help us. The village is in danger, and if someone doesn't do something... you should have seen it.
Stop. Take a deep breath and tell me everything. Starting with your name.
Sorry, my name's Eirik. When you went up to the Ereval with Miss Shula, well, I followed you.
You could have been killed.
Lady Shula told us you lot were great warriors, so I thought I'd be alright if I stayed close like. But then I lost track of you in the woods, and that's when I saw it.
Saw what?
A great, big, dripping, drooling monster. Spitting out great spouts of water it was, that were tearing up the ground and cutting down trees.
Spouts of water? I don't recall seeing anything like that in the forest.
Well, I did, and I don't ever want to see it again. You'll get rid of it, won't you?
Get rid of the monster, alright.
All right. If this creature is as terrible as you claim, it could well pose a threat to the village. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, mister. It was over by the Swift one that I saw it. Maybe it's still there.
Then that's where I'll start my search. But this time, you're going to stay here. Understood?
I wouldn't go through those gates for 1,000 gil. Not with that thing out there. Good luck, though.
Alright, so we got north, we got south.
I heard the tributary can fell an ibex from 100 paces.
And you could too if you put your mind to it. The blessing of the rill flows within you both.
And then I dreamed I saw the sea reach up to the heavens.
You weren't dreaming, Dewdrop. We all saw it.
The great serpent may have been brought to heel, but we must remain ever vigilant. What am I always telling you?
Never turn your back on the tide.
The great serpent may have been brought to heel.
My lord, might I have a moment of your time? I would beg of you a service.
Certainly. What is it?
It's a long story. But before we get to that, would I be right in thinking Lady Shula told you about the witch from the north?
Yes. She said that your ancestors found her here, and that it was she who taught them the spell to stop time. She was like Walius, you know. A dominant. The Warden of Ice.
My great-grandmother suspected as much. She cared for the poor woman when the end was near. And it was she whose duty became to attend her grave. A duty that was passed down to me.
I see. And the service you would beg of me?
Well, until recently, the path to the grave had long been blocked by a fallen tree. But when our woodsman finally found time to move it, we quickly realised it might have been better had they not. On trying to clear the rest of the path, you see, we discovered that a flock of bloodthirsty beasts had claimed the cliffs beyond. None of us was a match for them. But you, my lord, have proven your strength many times over. Would you drive them away for us?
Of course. I'll see the path is made safe.
Thank you, my lord. The grave is in a place called Witch Drop. To reach it, one must turn left at the Winged Wains, then follow the path around to the right, deep into the forest.
Why so far from Haven?
It was where she lived. When our ancestors first came to Mysidia, they found her there, in an old abandoned village, and it was her heartfelt wish to return there in death. So when she passed away, my great-grandmother had a stone erected for her on the cliffs overlooking the place she once called home.
How thoughtful. Well then, no time like the present. Left at the ships, then round to the right, you said.
Just so. Thank you once again, my lord. I will join you at the grave anon. If all goes well, you will be the first to visit Witch Drop in many moons. Just turn left at the Winged Wains, then follow the path around to the right, as I told you. It will take you straight to where the fiends were sighted.
You wouldn't happen to have some time on your hands, would you, Clive? Only I was wondering if you might help me with something else.
Don't tell me. Another unruly dominant.
Not quite, but a dangerous foe nonetheless. It promises to be quite a hunt. Care to join me?
Go hunting with Shula, alright?
Alright. Tell me about our quarry.
A fiendish, cold-blooded beast known as a Givra. Normally, we leave such animals well alone, and for good reason. But I have an even better reason to want its tongue.
Its tongue?
If you'll permit me, tributary, I can explain.
Certainly, Yamila.
It's been over a week since me sister gave birth to her first child, yet she still isn't back on her feet. We've tried everything to restore her spirits, physics and nostrums, the laying on of hands and of leeches, but all to no avail. The healers tell me there's only one hope left. A broth as potent as its ingredients are perilous to procure.
It isn't only Yamila's sister who stands to benefit from this, by the way. There's her baby to think of, and Walias, too. She'd agreed to be his wet nurse, you see.
I'd be glad to help.
Thank you. Our hunters have no shortage of skill, but this task calls for more than that. And it won't be achieved through weight of numbers either. The Givra is as wary a foe as it is a deadly one. 2 hunters might catch it unawares, but any more than that, and it would pick up our scent a league away.
Then it is decided. The 2 of you will go, while Jill and I occupy ourselves here.
Perhaps we might help prepare the broth. That would be most kind of you.
Come then, Clive. The river of time flows fast, and so must we. There's a Givra that has claimed the ruins at the foot of the mountain as its hunting ground. But as I say, they are wary creatures. We'll need suitable bait to draw it out. The flesh of a forest ibex should suffice.
To the forest, then.
There's nothing a Givra loves more than a fat haunch of ibex.
There speaks the voice of experience. Do you hunt often?
Since I was a girl. My father would take me. Then after he returned to the sea, Yamila's father. Our families have always been close. Even if her sister wasn't Walias's wet nurse, I couldn't stand by and watch her suffer.
Alright, no, that's fair, and we will do that in a minute. For now, we're just going to drop back to the hideaway. New missives. New thing.
Clive. How may I help you today?
Oh, that's what Drake's eye was. Okay. To calm Leviathan's rage.
Of course.
I mean, I suppose
One
I didn't
must
read it, did
understand
I?
one's place in the world.
Warrior is finally freed from his decade-long imprisonment, but in a matter of seconds before Ultima intervenes, cutting the celebration short by inciting the child to prime, while Shula and Jill return to Haven to effectively its evacuation, Clive heads for the Surge to use the powers given to him by the heavens and calm the ocean rage.
Here you are.
What was that other thing? And then Shula and Jill work to unweave the spell that binds Wyas. With the Dominant finally freed from his temporal prison, Ultima senses the opportunity to do as he wants to do, goading Leviathan into a madding enrage that his vessel might be tempered in an Empyrean squall one final time.
Of course.
Which, deceased, shall mind the village in your stead. Lend us your aid, I pray. Staying behind is most appreciated, my lord. One of us stay behind, so let it be me. Keeping Shula safe. I suspected he had some part to play in this. May you be freed. Everything you did for love. Your life begins here. Till we meet again, which I know we shall. You did it. You freed him. We came looking for a dominant and found two. You were watching over him all this time, weren't you? You were the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Thanks for putting your trust in us. If you ever need our help, you need only ask. Knew you'd save him. Did you feel the ether too? You might want to sit down for this. Don't worry, your friend is safe. Blue skies for everyone but Otto, eh? Hero returns. Didn't know you had that many teeth. All's well that ends well. Who's a yappy boy? Trust us now? Come visit Uncle Otto when you're older. Another life freed from Ultima's grasp. Couldn't have done it without you. Told you I could handle it. Another Ichion needs our help. You're not going to believe what I have to tell you. Using me to do your dirty work, you bastard. Shiva will be safe with me now. It's quite the tantrum. Just glad I could help. Take care of Shula.
Thus ends today's lesson.
Tight strike. We're gonna do a bit of bust the sword for now. A New Hope. Clive, I pen you this note from the Witten Hall beneath the tapestry whose images for so long haunted my dreams. Outside the air rings with Mada's soothing coos, clanging of Patrot's hammer and the rumble of his curses and the whisper of the winds through the Elder's blessing. In short, almost everything as it was before you came here. Just one difference, a bundle of that lies burbling happily beside me. One tiny difference yet, that has changed everything. When my ancestors committed their greatest sin, it was not only Walius who was frozen in time for 8 years. We mots of water have been bound by that spell they cast that day, unable to right their wrongs, unable to move forward. We now, like Walius, as we are released, we can live again on our own terms, where every life is equal and equally cherished. You brought us this gift, and I have every benefit that you will bring it to the world. Believe in yourself as we believe in you. Haven's signboard, the emblem of the hidden village in the moats, the pattern intersecting lines represents both the scales of the great serpent Leviathan and the ripples upon the surface of the ceaseless rill, the circle of life that is neither beginning nor end. Now that Walius is released, the two flow together again at long last. Cool.
What's on your mind, Clive?
About the events in Mysidia.
I've been thinking.
About our time in Mysidia, were we to save Walius and help redeem the moats of
But
water?
what of Shiva's dominant?
What of her legacy, her redemption?
She sacrificed everything.
To conjure a spell that might provide our people a better future, I'd actually wanted to see those magics used to rob an innocent child of that very thing. When we claimed the Vale that day, we righted two
And
wrongs.
in so doing,
Restored not only the life of one dominant, but the legacy of another.
I'm always with you, Clive.
Cool. I actually didn't expect you to have anything to say. And what have you got to say about a younger brother?
Brother.
About the offense of Mysidia.
Journeying through Mysidia.
Was like visiting another world, a world in which the moats of water yet endured and the life and the lost was found. Not everything that was so divorced from our own reality. Walius' imprisonment seemed quite a
Or
peace.
is it not the fate of every dominant?
To be the servant of the nation in which they are born, or else the slave, no matter their fears, their pain, or their suffering. Walius' torment differs only in that its means and severity, but now it is at an end, he's free at last to live.
So it falls to us.
To create a world where every man, woman, and child can do the same, no matter the blessing or burdens on which they are born. Brilliant.
To the end, brother.
No problem. Right. Back to Mythius. Or we'll go to Haven. Oh, wow, that is literally just like outside. Alright, let's sort that out first.
Bloody beastmen. They're always up to something or other.
That's perfectly fair. Make sure my gear is at 2, and that's what I rolled for. 2, there we go.
Found her. They're almost at the gate. But they won't be coming any closer. Don't get surrounded. That should buy Haven some time at least.
Clive, are you all right?
Fine. We've taken care of the immediate threat.
Thank the tides. I was worried I was going to lose you both. Talor, he took a sudden turn for the worse just after you left.
What? Is he?
No, he's hanging on. I fear the Tombury King may have begun the cursing ritual again. In earnest this time. And I can't imagine their being here as a coincidence. I think it might be happening on this very mountain.
If it is, it won't be for long. Get back to Talor. I'm going up.
My thanks. I shall pray for both of you.
let's track the Reign of Pain. There's actually something I forgot to check. Yeah, there aren't any new hunt boards on there. Okay, cool.
More of them. Come on then. I crave an audience with your king. Another group. They don't look very regal. It's over. Still no sign of the king. Could Fanad have been wrong? There's dozens of them. The king must be close. But we'll have to take care of his followers first.
That was a lot of Tonberries.
Looks like that's the last of them. Out here, anyway. But beastmen do like dark places.
Alright, have a quick re-roll of the dice before I walk into the dark place. Dice, dice, dice. What are we? Option 3. Alright, some shaver.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, that doesn't look good, does it? Alright, let's go. Tonberry King.
It even has a crown. Sorry, Your Majesty, but your reign ends here.
That all came at me a bit quickly. Is that going to restart me? Just here. Okay. Alright. Gear and abilities 1. Okay. Let's go.
Just what I needed. Sick of Nice try. I needed that.
Need some help.
Nice try.
Enemy slain! Notched Tang. For Tombury, a creature driven by its pure, unadulterated hate for those who have slain his brethren, a sharp blade is ultimately a gauge of his commitment. The more honed its edge, the more honed the killer's intent, obtained by defeating the Tombury King.
It's done. Which means the curse should be broken. Let's see how Talor's doing. With their king dead, I can only hope the Tomburys will retreat back to the forest.
Anyone else here to pick a fight? Want to pick a fight? Maybe want to pick a fight? Not sure about which fight they want to pick? I don't think there is. Alright. Mesmerize.
One moment the cloak was crawling with beastmen, the next it was empty as a cloudless sky. Was that your doing?
Can't claim I ever had high hopes for you lot, but there's no arguing with how things have turned out. Still not sure we're ready to throw open our gates to any old outsider who happens to come traipsing by. But I'm glad the tributary took a risk on you.
Yeah. What have I got left to get that Tonberry
What is it
knife
you
for
want?
myself? Craft the Tonberry knife. Another fool's gold and an aquiminous membrane. And that's the first notched tag I got. 2. Alright, cool. So I should get 2 of those. And some iridium from somewhere.
Till next time, then.
Alright.
Clive! Is it done then?
It is. I was going to ask if there had been any change in Talor's condition, but judging by that smile on your face, I think I already know the answer.
You do? Talor! He's back!
Thank you, my lord. I can never repay you for everything you've done for me. I owe you my life.
I'm just glad the curse is lifted. There is one thing I'd like to know, though. If you don't mind my asking. What made you seek the Tonberry's help in the first place?
Oh, that, well, you deserve to know. It was years ago now, back in my trading days. The Sons of Greek arrested me in Oriflamme, chained me up in a lightless cell with a great sword hung over my head, ready to fall if I didn't confess. Though they never said to what. I didn't, of course. So eventually they just let me go. And I never told a soul. Tried to forget it ever happened. But then you came along and the sight of your sword brought it all flooding back. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't hardly breathe, and I thought that if I gave my old chain to the Tonberries, maybe they could take all that pain away. All that anger. But it only made it worse.
Oriflamme has fallen. And the men who tortured you likely fell with it.
If only I'd known, I might have spared everyone a lot of trouble. I'd convinced myself that you were like them, that all outsiders were the same, but you're not. Far from it. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Clive, there's something I need to tell you. After we parted ways on the path to the cloak, I went straight back to Talor and explained to him what you were doing on his behalf. And just like that, his pain began to fade.
What do you mean? Just like that? The Tonberry King would have still been alive. I had to contend with dozens of his minions before I found him.
Then, perhaps one of them warned him of your coming and he broke off his ritual. Or, perhaps, knowing that an outsider was fighting for him was what lifted the weight from Talor's heart. I know, from experience, that many illnesses are not wholly physical, but of the spirit, at least in part.
Was there ever really a curse, then? Or was Talor simply suffering from the pain of his memories? And the guilt of what he'd done? For all the difference it makes. I suppose we'll never know.
Maybe not. But this much I do know. It was your strength and your selflessness that healed his heart in the end.
I'll be sure to tell my healer friend when I get home.
More Orcralilium.
Talor's back to his old self. No trace of his pain remains. And it's all thanks to you.
You saved my life, son. I swear to you that I will never go near those Tomberries again.
Alright, well guys,
It's
that's
good to have him back. But how do I know the lad won't summon another flood?
That's going to be the end of the stream. Thanks very much for watching. Do any likes, follows, comments, or subscribes that you may wish or want to do now in the future. When I come back, we will finish these quests off. And then finish the tides. But that's for when I'm back. Until then, thanks very much for your time, guys.